Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to an ambitious session of OLC4O Term 2B, brought to you by WASA Distance Education Center. I am your instructor, Mike Laverty. Thank you for joining me today. Today's date is Tuesday, June the 6th, 2023, and we are on class number 29 of our of OLC4O Term 2B. So we'll have, I believe, 34 classes together. So we've got about 6 more to go until we've got this term wrapped up. And I opened up by saying I'm hoping today will be an ambitious session. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about ambitions and going out there in the world and searching for something and trying to research a potential career path that you could take in life, that could be radically different from the one you're on now, or it could be something similar. But we're going to be looking at assignment 42. So this is Unit 4, Lesson 18, assignment 42. So yesterday we looked at Part A of this assignment, and today we'll look at parts B and C of that assignment. So assignment 42, part A, was looking at a, it's about a four and a half page essay written by a man named Rob Taylor, who's informing students about the benefits of applying for scholarships and bursaries, and how to get funding for to pay for your education. And so we're connecting those two things, right? So you're looking at a career path, trying to see what kind of education you're going to need to pursue that career path, and then looking at some bursaries and some ways that you could fund that particular career path. So that's what today's class will be all about. And then tomorrow's class we'll talk about assignment 43, and then we will also review the literacy portfolio, and then I think we should be just about ready to talk about the final exam preparation. All right, so here's some important announcements. We are on week 8 of Term 2B, so we've got weeks 8 and 9 to go. Weeks 8 and 9 are the only two ones left, so of course next week will be our final week as we wrap up Term 2B and we wrap up the regular school year here at WASA. So for potential grads, your deadline for submitting work is June the 9th. So, it's about 3 days from now. So that's got to stay on top of that. So you need to have all your work submitted. You need to have a final exam scheduled, or alternatively, if we can't arrange a final exam, then you would complete a course culminating activity. But in any case, the time is definitely ticking for that. So if you want to be part of the graduating class of 2023, you've got that June 9th deadline coming up. There is also the possibility of applying for an extension, but you have to ask for it, and you have to demonstrate why you need it. So just wanted to remind students that that deadline is coming up, and if you don't think you're going to make it, then now's the time to reach out and maybe see if you can do an extension, and just talk to somebody here at WASA, talk to myself, talk to one of the staff members, and that's probably a good thing to do at any point in your journey towards graduation, right? Just if you're unclear of anything, just reach out. So any other students, you've got a deadline of June the 16th for submitting work in this course, all right? So, and that includes, scheduling the final exam and getting your course culminating activities. So that deadline is going to be a week from this Friday, so keep that in mind. After that, you would need to register for the summer term, and then start the course all over again. So as I've mentioned many times, we're trying to avoid that from happening. All right, so our course schedule is as follows. We've got Units 1, 2, and 3 wrapped up. We are wrapping up. I think we'll have Unit 4 wrapped up in the next couple of days. And then next week I'll be broadcasting for we'll be broadcasting next week and talking about the final exam preparation. So it'll be final exam prep, and then we'll kind of do a course overview, and then we'll talk about some key concepts that we've explored from week 1, all going back to unit 1. So some of the key concepts in this course, reading strategies, talking about the writing process, talking about the form of a piece of writing, its purpose. So just how to size up texts, how to understand them, how to write about them, how to express ourselves, all the things that we've talked about in this course. That'll be the focus for next week. So just keep in mind that we do broadcast live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 1 p.m. to 1:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can always phone the studio at 1-800-465-7144, or you can phone us locally or anywhere in the 807 region at 1-807-737-4017. And you can phone in with questions or comments or a request or any kind of a clarification on what I've been talking about. And even though it's kind of late in the year, still strongly encourage students to do that, to participate that way. Just anything you'd like to say, and that's that's probably the best way that we can talk to each other. And if you're uncomfortable phoning in and sharing something over the air, then that's totally understandable. And then you can always message me directly, and I'll put up my contact information in a moment. So we're on the radio at 91.9 FM, Bell ExpressVu channel 972. You can also go to zoom.us or go to the Zoom app and then click join a meeting, and you can put my meeting ID in, and that's 417-6699-799. All my videos are on YouTube, so just search for Laverty Wassa. So my last name plus Wassa. You will find my YouTube channel. If you just type in Wassa on YouTube, you'll find lots of teachers' channels. So all of our content is on there. All of the classes are archived and uploaded there. So if you want to watch one of my classes from last week or back in April, or back what I was doing in November, that's all on there. If you have any issues with that, finding the course or the topic you need, I can direct you to it. I do have playlists that are organized by unit, and the description, or sorry, the title of the video says what episode or what assignment we're working on. We can also send those to you on like a USB stick. So there's lots of options. So if you can't watch live, then we have lots of options for you to listen to my classes. And so reach out to me directly at mlaverty@nnecschools.org. Find me on Facebook Messenger, Laverty Wassa. And please phone the Wassa studio with any questions, or the Wassa office at 1-800-667-3703. That's our free long-distance number, 1-800-667-3703. We're also on Facebook, so there's multiple ways. Just reach out, talk to us. We are here to answer your questions, and we would love to guide you through, your next steps to graduation, and just helping you with any questions that you may have. So here's your suggested progress. 7.5 weeks in. Should have had all of the assignments in Unit 1 and 2 done. Completed most of the assignments in Unit 3. And, I would say started, for sure. Started on Unit 4. And then working your way done through there. Read or skimmed the Unit 4 handout and read all or most of that novel, Jimmy Comes Home. Again, if you're a potential grad, your deadlines are a little more accelerated. For any potential grads in this course, you should have almost all of the assignments in Unit 4 completed and be looking at scheduling your final exam. So here is today's lesson. So we're looking at our images and our words of the day. We'll look at today's headline, and then we'll look at should say 18. Unit 4, Lesson 18, Assignment 42, Parts B and C. So like I said yesterday, we had a look at Part A. So if you're wondering about completing Part A, you can go back to yesterday's lesson and watch that. And if you have any questions about any of these assignments, just always feel free to reach out to me directly, and then I can help you with them one-on-one. But if you want to watch the videos, then you can go to my YouTube channel and check them out there. Learning goals for today are as follows. You will take notes as we conduct an online search for potential careers, scholarships and bursaries, and educational paths. So that's Assignment 42, Part B. And then we will review the writing process to help compose an information paragraph. So Assignment 42, Part C. So Part A is you responding to the article written by Rob Taylor. Part B is you doing a search for careers, scholarships, bursaries, educational paths. And then Part C is you kind of pulling all that together and writing a paragraph is commenting on the research that you did, and just basically giving an overview of one path that you might take. And again, your path in life may change. That happens to all of us. It's certainly happened to me a few times, which I can discuss in a bit once we get into the assignment. But you're just putting down one potential path and seeing where it might take you. And your success criteria will be to respond to questions about a short essay and write an information paragraph after researching potential career paths. And then I should also say your success criteria will be to share your research findings. And I'm going to demonstrate a few ways you can do that. So share what you found through research, and then write a paragraph that kind of comments about that career path that you've chosen. All right, so here's our images of the day. We've got a couple more one-panel cartoons here that I love to include just to add some humor to the discussion. But I think, like all good jokes, there's always some truth behind them that we can learn lessons from. So the dean of admissions. So we got a young man applying for college or university, and the dean, the man behind the desk, the one making the decision, says, "I'm sorry, but we don't have athletic scholarships for video games." So this is an interesting one because I know in some countries, being a video game player can be very lucrative. You can make multi-million-dollar contracts, but as far as I know, you can't really apply for an athletic scholarship if you're a gamer. But who knows? This might change. It's a very different world from the one I was born into, and even the one that my kids were born into, like say 10 years ago. The world is rapidly evolving, and who knows? We may see some scholarships for gaming. Right now, both my boys are really into VR gaming, and it's some pretty wild stuff. I remember when I was a kid, virtual reality did not look very real, and it looked pretty fake. And it's kind of amazing what kind of immersive worlds that people can put themselves into. So I guess that's one lesson we can take, is that just because things are a certain way today, it doesn't mean they'll be that way tomorrow. So you have to stay involved. You have to do lots of research. You have to understand how things are changing. And that's a pretty tall order for anybody. So, you just got to be tapped into like certain networks and just have people you can talk to. And the more sources of information you can have, I would say the better. But at the same time, you've got to be able to kind of trust those sources of information. And that's a really hard thing to do. We could probably teach a whole course about that. Just like, where do we get information from? Who can we trust? Where do we find reliable sources? So we'll talk a bit about that as we conduct some online research together. The second cartoon, we've got a caveman sitting at the batting plate, and he says, "If Blue no-hit home run, Blue lose scholarship." So, and this is sort of a commentary on. It's much more common in the States where athletes get scholarships and get their education paid for, and they may not necessarily have the brain power to be at like an academic institution, but that's the joke there, is that you know, they've hired this caveman to hit home runs, and if he does not perform on the field, he will not have his education paid for. Here are some words of the day. So Anishinaabe-Moan word, we've got nujitun is a verb, which is to seek or go after, to hunt it. The English word hunt, another verb, is to chase or search for game or other wild animals for the purpose of catching or killing, to make a search or quest. So I think that, you know, people often talk about the job hunt, the career hunt, and that's a metaphor. So instead of hunting for an animal, you are hunting for a job. And I think you could see all kinds of parallels between hunting, right? You know, in order to be a hunter, you usually have to have a mentor of some kind who teaches you how to go into the field and teaches you how to use certain tools and how to follow certain tracks and how to pay attention to your environment, how to respond to your environment. What do you do when you see the prey? How do you approach it? What strategies do you take to pursue your prey? So lots of rich material there for that metaphor, right? I think it's a very apt one. It's a very good metaphor for a career hunt. But yeah, you need lots of guidance, and I think if you just go into it blindly, and if you go into it without a lot of help, you're probably not going to be successful. But if you tap into your guidance from other people around you, you're probably going to have success. And here's some other Anishinaabe-Moan words. We have Ganawa'abi, she or he looks or watches. Nandawa Bozwe, she or he hunts for rabbits, so very specific kind of hunting. And Mitigo Akanduan is a hunting stand in a tree, right? So like a blind or some kind of a structure installed into a tree for the purposes of hunting. An inquiry is a seeking or request for truth, information, or knowledge. Pursuit is an effort to secure or attain a quest. Any occupation, pastime, or the like in which a person is engaged regularly or customarily. So that's a pursuit. So the pursuit is what you do to get the job, and then a pursuit is also what you do when you have the job, right? So it's like a continual pursuit, a continual journey. Here's today's article of the day about a scholarship. So École Polytechnique announces 2022 Order of the White Rose Scholarship recipient. This is written by Maricela Amador of the Canadian Press. And the photo caption reads, Sophia Roy, a Quebec environmental engineering student, poses with Polytechnique survivor Natalie Provost after receiving the Order of the White Rose Scholarship in Montreal on Monday, December 5th, 2022. So that's our headline. École Polytechnique announces 2002 Order of the White Rose Scholarship recipient. So the stuff highlighted in orange here is these are adjectives that describe this scholarship recipient. So the school, and then we've got a verb here. What they did, they announced. And what did they announce? They announced the 2022 Order of the White Rose. So that's an adjective that describes this scholarship recipient and the particular scholarship that she received. Here's a brief breakdown of the article. So we've got the topic sentence in the lead paragraph. So a Quebec environmental engineering student intent on researching solutions to the global climate crisis is the latest recipient of a $30,000 prize established in honor of the 14 women killed 33 years ago at Montreal's École Polytechnique. So that's, of course, the site of the tragic school shooting that saw these 14 women tragically killed. But then they're trying to build, I guess not build positivity on it, but just trying to honor these victims and trying to create some positivity. And so they give this very substantial bursary of $30,000 and this article, so it's about the awarding of that article. We have additional key information to support the lead paragraph. the Montreal Engineering School announced Monday that Sophia Roy is this year's winner of its Order of the White Rose Scholarship, which was established in 2014 to commemorate the victims and survivors of the shooting on December 6, 1989. So we hear that who got it, and then we hear more information about why this award is given out. And then we have a quote from the subject of the news report. Quote, "I am so honored to be part of the Order of the White Rose. I will always try to be faithful to the mission and the responsibilities that come with it. It's really a big day for me," Roy, 23, said in an interview before the ceremony. So that's one way you can do that. Again, you put the person's last name, comma, their age, 23, and that again is our speaker slug. That's our speaker tag that we use to attribute information, or information that tells us who said something, when they said it, how they said it, who they are, right? So very important to pay attention to how news reports are written. There's a reason why I go through them all the time. It's one of the important texts of OLC4O. So just thinking about that as we move into our discussion about the final exam and your course culminating activity. Okay, so we are now on to assignment 42. So the first part was, of course, part A, and that's, and this article is it's in your handout. It's in your Unit 4 handout, so that's the article entitled A Guide to Scholarships, Awards, and Applications by Rob Taylor. So you read that article. I read most of it on the air yesterday, so you can go back, and if you want to listen to that as like an audio version, I did read that over the airwaves, so you can go back to yesterday's class, June 5th, class 28, and listen to that, or just go and read the article on your own time. And you can answer those questions. But today we are moving forward. We are moving forward with our discussion of assignment 42, which has 3 parts to it in total. So we've got part A wrapped up, and today we'll be doing parts B and part C. So let's just jump right into that. So part B is called Identifying Resources, and then part B is worth 28 marks of this assignment. So it's I believe it's 60 marks in total for assignment 42. Yeah, part A is worth 20. Part B is worth 28. So that's and then you're writing an information paragraph. Yeah, so it's 60 marks, so which is a lot of marks in the grand scheme of things, right? So the first question in part B is fairly simple. You are choosing any career of interest to you and list 3 reasons why you might want to pursue it. Okay, so with that, I would suggest you get at your notebook. Part B, list a career, and you're listing a career and 3 reasons. So again, there is no right or wrong answer for a question like this. This is your life. This is what you want to do with it. 3 careers that you could pursue, but I would recommend before you get into that, you might want to just brainstorm a list, right? So you might want to just think about careers that you want to do. So I think about my life. I'm a teacher right now, but I've often thought about being like a sound or a production engineer. Would love to be like a college professor, maybe a comedy writer, an editor or a publisher, right? So just things that I've thought about doing, and then maybe a music teacher, right? So that's something I've thought about. So you might want to do the same. Just maybe just think of like a list of like 3, 4, 5 careers that you might want to do. Give it some thought, and then just pick the one that's sort of the one that stands out to you the most, right? So I would probably go with this sound production engineer, and then I would list my 3 reasons for going into that particular career, right? So I often think it's helpful to do that, to just just jot down a list, and then from there just pick the one that speaks to you the most. Like, I think that's why I think that's the one I'm gonna write about, and write about the one that you can say the most about, right? So, and then I would just do like sentence starters, right? So list a career. I've got mine right there, sound production engineer, and some reasons for doing it would be, I love music. Enjoy working with hardware, like equipment and stuff. And then I like troubleshooting. Yeah, and then you may even want to come back to this question after you've done some research, after you've looked into your career of choice. You're gonna get some ideas, but at least you got a general sense of where you'd want to take this thing. Okay, so moving right along, this is the second part of the question. This is part 2, and it says use the internet, and then they provide you some examples. So you've got careerprocanada.ca, jobbank.gc.ca. So that's the government job bank. Careers.indigenous.link to research for some information on your chosen career. For the purposes of this assignment, you may copy or print some information you find and simply highlight the requirements, include any qualifications, courses, grade requirements, or any other important information. So really, what you're doing here, and it doesn't require you to do any writing. You could do a bit of writing if you want, but really this part of the assignment is you just conducting some research on a chosen career, right? So that's what you're doing here. You're just trying to find out some information about a career, and then I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. So it could be information. It could be information about the career. It could be actual job postings themselves. So there's a couple of ways that we could approach this thing. And maybe we'll start by having a look at some of those websites, right? And then I'll kind of show you what you can do to capture the research. Just some strategies for gathering what you find. So we've got careerprocanada.ca. Well, what I'll do is I will share my browser. So we've got careerprocanada.ca. Just make sure I am actually sharing my screen. Yeah, there we go. So Career Professionals of Canada, the National Association. And their website is not... Oh. Okay, website. Just give me one moment while I... Yeah, I thought I had this website up working earlier. I'm just not sure if it's my, just not sure if it's the browser that I'm working on right now. Okay, just not sure if it's down or if it's been taken down, but let's go back to our... We've got jobbank.gc.ca. Let's go to that one. Excuse me, just been a little while since I've done this. Okay, let's go to jobbank.gc.ca. So this is the Government of Canada's job bank, and you know, you're going to get some information here. So I might just type in sound engineer. I didn't type in a location. I did find one job posting here, so I've got Digital Extremes Ltd. Okay, so I mean, you could include this as part of your as part of your part of your research, right? So you've got you know, they do break down certain job postings. And the more you find, the more job postings are available. So there's 22 job postings available. So we've got video technician, audio visual technician, sound recording equipment operator. So sometimes the search you put in, it won't be exact, but then they'll find related jobs for you. So a video technician, videotape editor, sound engineer, post-production technician. And then you get a sense of how much they pay. We've got a studio operator, audio recording. We can click on that. Yeah, not too much information on here. So I might change my strategy here a little bit, and let's see. Go back to my... We've got careers.indigenous.link. Okay. Careers.indigenous.link. I know the last time that I checked these links, they were active. Let's go to careers, indigenous. The Job Bank of Canada does have a section on its website, as you can see here. This is jobbank.gc.ca. They do have careers for Indigenous people. So that's jobbank.gc.ca/Indigenous. So that's something you might want to look into, right? And then you can type in, you know, the kind of career that you want to do. And another way to do this too is, and maybe if you can't think of a career that you want to do, there are a couple of ways we can do this. So here in Sioux Lookout, we've got the Sue Hudson Employment Services. So that's SiouxLookoutJobs.com, and we can type in that into our web browser and pull up their website. And hopefully that'll work for me. I'm not sure. I think there might be something up with my browser here in the studio. I'm not sure because I know I've opened these websites on my end. And let's see here. Maybe I can impart a little bit of my doing online research here. So I might try a different browser. Gonna see what happens when we no, I can't do that. Let's see. Let's see if it'll work for me. Okay, well there we go. So Indeed.com. So in websites like this started to come around, in recent years, and they are excellent places to find, a job for your chosen career. Let's type in music teacher. That was one of my other jobs that I was thinking about, right? So, I'm going to take out. So when you search on Indeed.com, you can enter the city you live in, or I might just I would recommend just leaving that part blank, and just do a wide search, right? So we've got a violin teacher, a private music teacher, a cello teacher, primary music teacher at private voice teacher at Beethoven at Home, music teacher, Fort Erie International Academy, $45,000. So let's check out that one. So there you go. So what you want to do is you want to find a job posting, and then you see that you need Ontario teacher certification or similar teaching certification, intermediate, senior qualifications, teaching experience in senior, intermediate division. So, and then what you want to do is you can just you might want to just print off all of this information if you've got a printer at home. Or what you can do is you can sort of copy and paste it. That's one thing you can do. Sometimes if you hit print and then you go to save as, you can save it as a PDF. It depends on how much information that it grabs, so it's not really displaying it the way that I want it to. Yeah, but you can sort of copy and paste the job posting itself. Let's see, we got music teacher. So I'm just gonna grab all that information, copy it, and put it into a Word document. We'll see how that works. Let's see. And then I can copy and paste that into my Word document, and then there we go. So now, and then I could share that with my teacher, and so that's really what you're doing with this part of the assignment is you are, using some of those websites and just highlighting the requirements, the qualifications you need, the courses, the grade requirements, any other important information. So just give you some examples of some things you can use for part 2 of this assignment. So we've got, we're on assignment 42, part B, and what I'm looking for here is job advertisements. And these should have, with the requirements of the job, and this should show you like the education you're going to need. That's the big one, right? So the education needed, right? You know, is it college, university, maybe some kind of an apprenticeship, like a Red Seal carpenter, you know, an apprenticeship program, or, you know, maybe some kind of a training program, you know, a special driver's license, something like that, right? So that's, you know, that's the number one thing we're looking for here, are job advertisements, job postings, things of that nature, things that you need to, things that show you, you know, where the job's being applied for, and how much qualifications you're going to need. So that's what we're looking for. And then what you're doing is you're printing the job post, or, you know, like saving it on your phone, you know, just some way that you can direct me to it, right? So that's your research for part 2. You write down your career, and then you find some job advertisements, and these job advertisements should show the requirements that you need, okay? And then you're also going on the internet and using any other resources available to you, including your teacher. So you could reach out to me if you're having any difficulty with the assignment, to find information about a scholarship or a bursary that you may be able to apply for within your chosen career in mind. So you can use words like Indigenous plus Ontario plus scholarship in a Google search to find out just how much money is out there as you continue your journey in education. So print off or copy the information you'll need to apply for the scholarship or bursary. If you can find an application form, you can include that as part of your research. So in yesterday's class, we were looking at Canadian scholarships, CanadianScholarships.com. The government of Canada has one too. This is Canada.ca/finance. So they've got some information there too. Let's go back. Let's do the Canadian scholarships. So that was scholarshipscanada.com. That's the website we looked at yesterday. So so you can create a membership if you want. You can view all the scholarships. So let's try. I'm just typing in so carpentry. That was a field that I initially had wanted to get into, right? So if you you know, if carpentry, for example, is a field that you might want to get into, you can sort of you can sign up or log in to see the full list of scholarships. Let's see. Let's try that. So we create a profile. It's free. Yeah, I don't think we have the time to do that, but it is free. So you may want to take the time to enter your information, and you know, and just, you know, put that in there. You know, so for me, myself, you know, I'm a teacher working at WASA Distance Education Center. Mike Laverty. We could put the WASA phone number here. #1488. Yeah. So well, let's see. Let's see. Just let's see how quick this process really is. And then you'll have access to everything, and it is one of the best websites you can go to for finding bursaries. So it will pay off. So don't mind letting y'all know how old I am. Don't mind at all. Didn't like my password for some reason. Okay. Sure. And then, it's going to ask me for some information here, but you could fill that in later, your educational interests, filling out your scholarship profile, your community questions. Yeah, so that didn't take too long. And then now I can have a look at some career scholarships. Can look here through it. So we've got featured scholarships. We've got I'm not sure where we can go just to just do a general search, right? So let's have a look again at those. So we've got 20 scholarships for carpentry, right? So if that's the one that I want to do, looks like they've listed them by how much money you could potentially get. So we've got let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you're gonna have to do a little bit of digging just to find a scholarship that applies to you and your chosen field. It's gonna take a little bit of digging, but if you find one that's relevant to you, Calypso Homes Carpentry Award, $1,000. Let's see who it's available to. Provided by Lethbridge College. So, yeah. So I'm not sure if it's related to this particular school, and I wouldn't be too concerned about that if you can just find sort of like if you can find some scholarships that pertain to your particular career, that's fine with me. Just share those. That's great. Just show me you've done some research into a particular career. And let's just have a look at that one search we looked at. So Indigenous scholarships, Ontario. So we do have the Indigenous Bursary Search tool. So that's great. We could use that. That's from the government of Canada again. Another great website is the Inspire. So these are awards for Indigenous people, right? So you might want to look through here. So Building Brighter Futures Bursary Scholarships and Awards program opens doors through education, right? If you just spend a whole bunch of time, you're going to find a whole bunch of bursaries that you could apply for. So the Canada Post Awards for Indigenous students. The Canada Post Awards for Indigenous students celebrates the hard work and determination of Indigenous people who embrace a renewed pursuit of learning. So open to all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people who've been out of school for 1 year or more, who have since decided to return to an educational system, and who have now been back at school for at least 1 year. So even if that doesn't describe you, you could include that as part of your research for Part B. Okay, you could include that your research as a potential bursary that you found, and then you could download it. You can save that to your desktop. You could print it, save it as a PDF to your desktop. If you've got a printer, you can print it off. You could email me with a link. That's one option you can do. You can go to your email and just say, like you're emailing your teacher, and you say, assignment 42 Part B. and say something like here, you know, here are some bursaries that I found. And then just copy and paste it. Right click and hit paste, or just control V if you're familiar with the keyboard commands. So those are very useful. Those keyboard commands. You right click something. If you right click the website, if you double click it, if you triple click it, or just highlight the whole text, and then hold down the control button on your keyboard, and then hit C. Once you have an email open or a Word document open, you just hit Control V, and then you can kind of paste that into the document, right? So basically, you just got to look everywhere, spend some time. A simple Google search is going to pull up what you're looking for, and just take the time and gather up as much information as you can about your chosen career, and just highlights some bursaries that you could potentially apply for. And if you're stuck on any of this, please reach out to me, and I will help walk you through it. And use Indeed.com, use SuLookoutJobs.com. Find any local job postings to find information about jobs, and then follow those tips that I gave you for doing some online research. So that is all the time that we have for today, and thank you for tuning in. We will continue our discussion tomorrow.